Where do you think the MCU is headed next? This is the Adventurers Guild. I'm Steve.
Johnny Salami.
Still Jesse. And that is the answer that we are going to try to come up with right now.
All right, yeah. That's exciting.
What do you think the direction the MCU is headed? Now that we have had the epic conclusion of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, we just watched WandaVision not too long ago. Black Widow is coming very soon. What is the direction? What is the overarching storyline? What's coming down the pipeline?
So I was thinking about this, Steve. Do you know how the MCU did that amazing Thanos story?
I guess that seems to recall, yes.
Yes,
The highest grossing movie of all time.
Yeah, they planted the seeds from the first Avengers and it worked up. So I'm thinking to myself, they can't do something big and epic and space-like, because I keep hearing this thing about multi-dimension. And I was like, that's too close to this whole Infinity Stone and all that. So I don't think they'll do it back-to-back. So with all the characters starting to be introduced with, you know, certain people's kids and stuff like that, I think they're going in the direction of the Young Avengers.
I can agree with that.
Okay.
But you don't foresee like a Galactus type of character coming anytime soon?
So hear me for the villains.
Okay.
The Dark Avengers. All we need is a Norman Osborn and a couple other villains that have survived or can be brought back for a Dark Avengers team. Imagine that. Characters coming back out of nowhere and taking the place of the Avengers now that they've been broken up and the Avengers have to come out of retirement to fight this imposter team. I'd sign up for that universe.
Now, Doctor Strange 2 will be, and Spider-Man, I believe, at least I'm under the impression that it will be introducing more threads to the multiverse concept that was introduced in WandaVision.
Yes.
Actually, I guess, and in Spider-Man 2, but that was kind of like an off-the-hook or off-the-cuff kind of joke when he made it come out. The multiverse is real?
There are multiple realities, Peter. This is Earth, Dimension 616. I'm from Earth 833.
I'm sorry, you're saying there's a multiverse?
Do you suspect... How do you suspect that will play into something like a Dark Avengers type of storyline? Because you mentioned Norman Osborn. There's established Norman Osborn characters already from the original Spider-Man films.
That is true.
So, could that...
They had two different actors playing, one in the Amazing series and, of course, Willem Dafoe's amazing interpretation. I don't know, you could go with a new character. I've always seen Norman Osborn as more of an... I understand he's a Spider-Man villain. I've seen him as more of an anti-Iron Man. Taking all his tech and technology and doing it for himself. So I would like to see a new actor take that role. But, I mean, a cross-universe event would be pretty awesome. I'd like to see it.
Now, here's an interesting question for you. So everybody is chuffed up to see the X-Men introduced as fast as possible. That's going to be in the foreseeable future, obviously. Everybody wants mutants. I actually thought that WandaVision was gonna go all in on the mutant thing.
Retcon it in.
Exactly. Especially with the whole Quicksilver aspect of it when we were halfway through the season, which didn't work out that way. Although I'm not convinced that is the end of that storyline. But that's for another day.
That's over there, the slot machine.
So, do you think that we're going to see do you think we're going to see mutants next, or do you think they're going to introduce the Marvel's first family, the Fantastic Four, first?
I think it'd be easier to do the Fantastic Four, so we're going to see the Marvel's first family. Ugh, words are difficult.
Now, why do you think it would be easier to introduce them? Because I foresee them being introduced all together in one movie. But I can foresee someone like Wolverine dropping in one thing, like one movie or one episode of one show.
It's easy to introduce characters that have kind of been there all along after the fact, like Captain Marvel and, you know, Captain America, you know, where they've had these prequel films where you can kind of explain...
If they're not mutants.
Yeah, but my issue is, how do you explain a whole group of people that have been existing in this universe? Because... to get into X-Men lore, you have the Holocaust with Magneto. You have Wolverine, who's fought in every single war. I mean, it's going to be really hard to be like, where have these people been hiding?
There was a fan theory that WandaVision, when she took over that town...
That was her taking over. Pretty good.
That she inadvertently created mutants as they crossed through that force field.
I heard that, and I don't hate that idea, but I'd rather somehow... a retcon be thrown in, or somehow two universes merge. I think studios don't give us enough, credit, and I think we could be okay with a few universes merging. I mean, Disney, you own Fox now. Just give us the X-Men universe. Fuse them together. Keep the ones you want.
Well, that would be through the multiverse theory then. So you think that they would kind of just be retconned in via way of the multiverse?
Yes.
I mean, the multiverse.
Doctor Strange sneeze. Oh man, Wolverine. Oh, that was my fault. Like, bam, that's how it happened.
To me, it just feels. I know that a lot of people love the concept of the multiverse, and it is cool. But with the 10 years of established lore from the MCU, to me it almost feels lazy to just shoehorn in mutants because we have the multiverse now. Here's a mutant.
Right, you want to.
I feel like something as important as the mutants need to have a more tangible and believable as a mutant can be introduction. That's just my personal feelings.
I agree. I mean, you could always do. They've just been really quiet and hiding. That kind of thing. So, I mean, there's more. I get what you're saying because there's something about writers writing themselves in a corner that just make for just better writing. I mean, look at what they did with Endgame, with Bruce Banner being Hulk now, the 5-year jump, and look how much impressive the shows have gotten after that because they wrote themselves in the corners. They're like, all right, well, we got to... Something about having your back against the wall makes great writing.
What about this? The mutants have already existed, not the multiverse theory. They've already been on Earth for a long time, and something happened at a certain point, maybe like in the era of like the X-Men First Class like type of time frame.
1960s, I'm liking this.
Where Professor Xavier uses his psychic abilities to make everyone in the world forget that mutants exist.
Oh.
And something occurs at some point in the future that makes them come back out of hiding. So everyone knew that mutants were a thing.
A bigger threat.
But then they were forgotten about because of the ability to wipe people's minds. But now there's a bigger threat. Someone like a Galactus, for example.
I do like that. It's not a bad idea. I think it's a little early to do Galactus.
Well, I'm just using it as it would have to be a Thanos-level threat to bring them out of hiding.
I don't think that's a terrible idea. I actually really like that. That's
Thank you.
Jesse approved.
I wish I could take credit for that, but I read that online.
Or you could do something as they've always kind of been there, helping the back. One thing I really, really appreciated about Endgame was when you got to see the battle for New York from a different point of view.
Right.
And the Sorcerer Supreme wasn't just sitting back during the battle. They were
right. She was helping.
I thought that was a really cool, like, full circle in. So
right.
Full circle them in, Marvel. I'm okay with that. And if you need somebody for Wolverine and Sabretooth, well, we just got you. Sabretooth.
Yeah, I get it. I like that.
Yep, you're Wolverine, obviously.
Okay.
You got the sideburns already.
Yeah, well, sure. Okay. I mean, I might need to bulk up a little bit. Although Hugh Jackman wasn't that big in the first X-Men movie.
No.
But he did get jacked later on.
You can get that big. Mm-hmm.
Well, is there any closing thoughts you'd like to add?
I would like to say you have a lot of lore from the X-Men films you've already pulled from and from the Fantastic Four, so keep what works for the X-Men and redo the Fantastic Four, because no offense to the first family, but they ain't been done right yet. Hey, that's just my opinion.
I could see that.
A right opinion.
Big shout out to our patrons. You guys make this channel truly possible. Check out our Discord and for the adventures.
Forum, too.
Ah, yes. And also, check out our forum. It's totally free. guildhallforum.com. It is the best place to discuss all things nerdy and pop culture.
Like subjects like today.
Exactly. Now, for the Adventures Guild, I'm Steve.
Still Jesse.
And we will catch you, and you, possibly even you.
Yeah, it's over there. There's the Marvel future again.
In the next one.
Bye, Marvel.